Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This is Social Science for Standard 7, History, Chapter 8, Religious Beliefs and Popular Movements. During the medieval period of India, Hinduism has faced a lot of new fusions in culture, cults and beliefs. Now these new religion, cult and belief had brought in a lot of new teachers who were able to spread bhakti, a devotion to God, in a large number. Now we will see bhakti. What is bhakti? Bhakti means devotion to one supreme God with exceptional power and knowledge. Now how did these people were able to spread bhakti? They wrote a lot of hymns or couplets which were in the popular languages, and they went across India. They spread throughout the bhakti to wherever they could. And this bhakti were followed in Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna means believers of God with a form. Nirguna is believers of God without a form. That is the difference between Saguna and Nirguna. Now let us see what are the features of bhakti. Bhakti denounced the caste system. There were a lot of systems in the previous years that was totally shattered. Now if you see, they emphasize simple means and practice. That is, they did not have any rituals or any practices to attain salvation. They formed a very simple methods. Now they also spread kindness and purity of heart and mind. When they were doing a lot of yajnas in the previous years, it had formed only a system. There was no involvement of heart or mind. But here in bhakti, they were able to involve heart and mind. From where did they get all these ideas? They drew inspiration from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Purana. These both important literature gave them a lot of ideas. Now, and they also promoted brotherhood. And how did they promote this? They wrote in all popular languages, in Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Marathi and other local languages. And now let us see who are the saints who propagated this. The main important saint was Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Madhavacharya, Veera Shaivas and saints of Maharashtra. Now if you see Adi Shankaracharya, he was born in Kerala and he followed the policy of Advaita Vedanta. Now he said that devotion to God and can be attained only through a knowledge of the Upanishads. Now Ramanuja, who is a great Vaishnava saint, he actually taught that qualified oneness is very important, and he said that everyone, irrespective of any caste, should attain salvation or moksha. Now Madhavacharya, again he said, is again one of the main important saints. He said that birth alone cannot bring any caste to a person. Rather than that, his generous and his thought is what is going to bring him the caste. Now Veera Shaivais are also called as Lingaites, who follow Lord Shiva, and these people rejected all the caste system and authority of Vedas. Now if you see saints of Maharashtra, we can remember that Tukaram, Namadeva are the great saints who wrote a lot of poems and hymns about the Lord Vithala in Marathi. Now let's move on to the saints of North India and South India. If you see saints of North India, why there is a difference between North India and South India? Now if you see North India, the saints got influenced with the Sufi saints who came from Arabia at that particular time. Now these Sufi saints were spreading brotherhood and equality. So our Bhakti saints who were in northern part of India also got influenced, and they started to spread brotherhood. They started to totally criticize the social order in India. Now the great saints are Ramananda, Ramanand, Ravidas, Kabir, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srimanta Chakradeva. Now let us see Kabir, who is a very important saint. Now who is Kabir? Kabir is a person who is born in Benares, and he belonged to a very poor family. He was an abandoned child. Now he was grown in a Muslim weaver's family, and he started to teach about the philosophies that to his knowledge. Now first he said that oneness is very, very important to attain salvation, and he rejected all the other caste systems, and he wrote a lot of poems in the form of hymns or couplets, which are called as doha. And he also preached about humanity, peace and reverence, and also love. Now Kabir is one of the main important North Indian saint. Now if we move on to South did not have any influence of Sufis, but rather there were two different systems that was followed, that is Saivism and Vaishnavism. Saivism were the worshippers of Lord Shiva, Vaishnavism were the worshippers of Lord Vishnu. Now if you move on to Alvars are the saints who worship Lord Vishnu, and Nayanmars are the saints who worship Lord Shiva, and both of them wrote a lot of poems, and they preached their teachings, and they went across southern part of India and they spread their thought. And Ramadas is one of the main saints who wasn't from Andhra Pradesh. Now we will move on to a new religion that came at this point of time. During the 15th century, there was one person called Guru Nanak who brought in a new system of religion from both the religion of Hindu and Muslim. He incorporated both the religions, and he formed a new religion called Sikhism. And followers of Sikhism were called as Sikhs. And Sikhism, they have a very peculiar concept of having a common kitchen, and it was called as langar. Now we will move on to women Bhakti saints. Now there is a very important change from Guru Nanak, that he brought in all the women also to participate in any sort of a religious activities. So there were new women Bhakti saints. There were Akka Mahadevi, Andal, Mirabai and Sant Janabai. Mirabai is considered to be one of the great saints who spread about Lord Krishna, who sang many songs, spread across the Maharashtra. Now we will move on to Sufi saints. Now before going to Sufi saints, first understand what is Islam. Islam is nothing but a new religion in Arabia, which means submission of individual to the will of the God. Now, will of the God, and it had formed in 7th century in Arabia. Now, if you see Sufi saints, they also traveled from Arabia to India, and they also spread their thought across. Now, if you see what are the features of Sufi saints, existence of one God, and all men are God's children, and Islam insists that there should be a respect for all religions, and music is one of the way to reach God. Now, these features and these systems were spread by the saints. Now, the great saints of Sufis were Khwaja Muhyiddin Chishti, Baba Sheikh Farid, Nizamuddin Auliya. And Baba Sheikh Farid is considered to be one of the great saints, when his teachings is also part of Guru Nanak Sikhism. And that's the end of 7th standard social science history.